So, you think you're the ultimate One Piece fan? If the answer is yes, then prepare to have your mind blown, because today, I'm bringing you 50 insane, hidden facts from the anime, manga, and the Netflix live action that only the top 1% of hardcore legends actually know. Why was Sanji originally named Naruto? How did Netflix pull off Buggy's powers without CGI? Here's zero filler, 50 detailed facts, so let's start. 1. Sanji's real name. Sanji was originally going to be named Naruto because of his swirl-shaped eyebrows, but the Naruto manga launched right around the same time, so Oda-sensei changed it at the last second to avoid a clash. 2. Zoro the villain. Roronoa. Zoro wasn't meant to be Luffy's right-hand man. He was originally designed to be a bodyguard for Buggy the Clown. Oda even drew a rough sketch of it, but luckily, he scrapped the idea. 3. Beating Batman. One Piece holds the Guinness World Record for the most copies published for the same comic book series by a single author. With over 500 million copies sold, it has officially beaten Batman. 4. Oda's crazy schedule. Eiichiro Oda is so dedicated to his art that he only sleeps about 3 hours a day. For over 2 decades, his schedule has been waking up at 5 a.m. and working until 2 a.m., drawing nothing but One Piece. 5. Luffy's nationality. In an SBS fan Q&A, Oda confirmed that if the Straw Hats were in the real world, Luffy would be Brazilian because of his cheerful nature and tropical vibe. 6. Zoro's homeland. Similarly, representing the way of the samurai, Zoro would be Japanese. 7. Sanji and Chopper. Sanji, with his fine culinary arts and romance, would be French, while Chopper, coming from a snowy island, would be Canadian. 8. The Indian connection. And the coolest part? Our helmsman Jinbei would be Indian. Oda stated that Jinbei's calm demeanor and deep respect perfectly match real-world India. 9. The 5-year plan. Oda initially planned for One Piece to end in just 5 years. He knew the ending from day one, but he introduced the concept of the Shichibukai, warlords, which stretched the story into a 25-year epic. 10. Chopper's dark design. Tony Chopper wasn't always a cute crying mascot. His early sketch depicted him as a tall bipedal reindeer who constantly chain-smoked and wielded a sword. 11. Vivi's accidental royalty. Princess Nefertari. Vivi was originally just a minor villain named Miss Wednesday. One day, Oda accidentally drew her with her hair down, thought she looked like a princess, and ended up writing the entire Alabasta arc around her. 12. Shanks losing his arm. In Chapter 1, Shanks feeding his arm to the Sea King wasn't part of the original story. Oda's editor told him the first chapter needed more emotional impact and tension, so Oda added the brutal sacrifice. 13. Buggy's real juggling. Jeff Ward, who plays Buggy in the live action, didn't rely on CGI. He actually learned how to juggle and performed it on set, so his chop fruit body separation acting looked natural. 14. Zoro's real piercings. To make the role authentic, Makenyu, Zoro, didn't wear fake clip-on earrings. He actually got his left ear pierced 3 times, specifically for the shoot. 15. No green screen ships. To save on VFX and add realism, Netflix built actual massive pirate ships in South Africa. The Baredi restaurant was literally built sitting in the water. 16. Inyaki's laugh. Iñaki Godoy was chosen for the role of Luffy because his audition tape literally made Eiichiro Oda laugh out loud. Oda said, "This boy is literally my Luffy." 17. Arlong's height. To make Arlong look massive and intimidating in real life, actor McKinley Belcher III had to wear heavy platform shoes during all of his action scenes. 18. Sanji's accent and stunts. Taz Skylar is actually from the Canary Islands in Spain, which gives him that unique accent. Plus, he performed all of his insane kicking stunts himself, without a body double. 19. Usopp's nose. Usopp's long nose is iconic in the anime, but it was removed for the live action because showrunners felt it would look incredibly fake and distracting in real life. 20. Kobe's screen time. In the anime, Kobe disappears for a long time early on, but in the live action, Garp and Kobe's storyline was intentionally shown in parallel to give the Marines a clear perspective from the start. 21. Buggy's dark vibe. The live-action Buggy was made a bit more Joker-esque and dark because Netflix audiences needed a truly threatening villain, not just a goofy clown. 22. Mihawk's heavy sword. Dracula, Mihawk's giant sword, Yoru, was such a heavy prop that actor Stephen Ward had to take months of special sword training just to swing it smoothly on camera. 23. Nami's hair color. Emily Rudd isn't a natural redhead. She had to constantly maintain a very specific shade of orange dye throughout the entire shoot to match the exact anime feel. 24. Oda's strict control. The live action couldn't move forward unless Oda personally approved every single script and scene. He had a strict rule: nothing gets filmed without his yes. 25. Luffy's no-kill rule. Luffy has never killed a main villain in the manga. Oda states that in this pirate era, shattering an enemy's dream is a punishment far worse than death. 26. Whitebeard's pride. Even after dying at Marineford, Whitebeard didn't have a single scar on his back. This is because, in his entire life, he never once turned his back and ran away from a fight. 27. Law's death spell. The tattoos on Trafalgar Law's fingers spell out death. This represents his dark past and his power as a surgeon to literally control life and death. 28. Crocodile was a woman. There is a massive, widely accepted fan theory that Crocodile used to be a woman. Fans believe he asked Ivankov for the favor of turning him into a man, which is why Ivankov constantly blackmails him. 29. Doflamingo's glasses. Doflamingo's glasses have never fallen off. When a fan asked what was behind them in a Q&A, Oda jokingly drew a picture showing another identical pair of glasses underneath. 30. Big Mom's ironic dream. As cruel as Big Mom is, her ultimate dream is simply to have every race in the world sit at the same table for a tea party, a twisted desire born from her childhood trauma. 31. Kato's hobby. Yonko Kato's official hobby is attempting suicide. He is so ridiculously strong and depressed that he wants to die, but even jumping off a sky island doesn't leave a scratch on him. 32. Hancock's power weakness. Boa Hancock's Mero Mero no Mi fruit, which turns people to stone, only works if the target has lust or dirty thoughts about her. Because Luffy is completely pure-hearted, it had zero effect on him. 33. Enel's long ears. Skypia's villain, Enel, has incredibly long earlobes because he constantly pulls on them to relax, heavily inspired by traditional depictions of Buddha statues. 34. Spandam's living sword. Spandam's sword, Funkfried, can actually turn into a living elephant. This is the result of Dr. Vegapunk's insane technology, where even non-living objects can eat a Zoan devil fruit. 35. The secret of Smoker's coat. Why does Captain Smoker's coat always look like it's burning? Because he hides dozens of thick cigars in the lining of his jacket that are constantly lit. 36. Game On is Oda's favorite. If you think Shanks or Zoro is Oda's favorite character, you're wrong. Oda's absolute favorite character design is Game On, the little guy who is permanently stuck inside a treasure chest. 37. Joy Boy's real history. The name Joy Boy and the concept of the drums of liberation are actually inspired by real-world Caribbean folklore, where Joy Boy is a spirit who plays a drum to cure human miseries. 38. Gear 5's origin. Luffy's Gear 5 transformation is heavily inspired by classic rubber hose animation, specifically Tom and Jerry, because Oda wanted to make shonen battles funny and ridiculous again. 39. Raftel, or Laugh-Tale. For 20 years, fans thought the final island was named Raftel, but the 2019 movie Stampede and Odin's flashback revealed that Gol D. Roger actually named it Laugh-Tale because of a funny story. 40. Roger's mustache. Gol D. Roger's iconic mustache wasn't actually a mustache at all. In early sketches, Oda drew it as insanely long nose hair, but the anime team interpreted it as a mustache to make him look more serious. 41. Kuma's Bible. Bartholomew. Kuma always carries a Bible. Fans theorize it isn't a religious book, but rather an encyclopedia of all the different islands he can send his enemies to with his paw powers. Blackbeard's 2 powers. Blackbeard is the only person to possess 2 devil fruit powers. Marco confirmed his body structure is atypical, leading to the theory that he might actually be 3 people in one body, and has never slept in his life. 43. Wano's massive length. The Wano arc was so incredibly long that it took almost 4 years to complete in the manga, making it the longest single arc in Shonen Jump history. 44. The anime's slow pacing. Early on, the anime covered 2 to 3 manga chapters per episode. Today, Toei Animation deliberately paces it at 1 chapter per episode, so the anime doesn't catch up to the manga. 45. Toriyama. The god Eiichiro Oda is a massive fan of Dragon Ball creator Akira Toriyama. Oda has openly stated that without Goku, the character of Luffy would never have existed. 46. Mayumi Tanaka's energy. The Japanese voice actress for Luffy, Mayumi Tanaka, is nearly 70 years old. Yet, every time she steps into the recording booth, she delivers the raw energy of a 19-year-old teenager. 47. Romance Dawn. One Piece's prototype manga was called Romance Dawn. In it, Garp was actually a pirate, and there were 2 separate girls named Silk and Anne, who were later combined to create Nami's character. 48. Ace's birthday. Port Gas D. Ace's birthday was intentionally set on January 1st. This was done so the date perfectly matches the symbol of an ace playing card. Number 1. 49. The Crying Mangaka. Oda is so deeply connected to his characters that his studio assistants have caught him crying at his desk while drawing emotional scenes, like the death of the Going Merry, or Robin saying, "I want to live." 50. The known ending. The actual ending of One Piece is a heavily guarded secret, known only to Oda and one terminally ill child. Through the Make-A-Wish Foundation, Oda privately visited the boy in the hospital and told him how the story ends. The brave child kept that secret with him. So, out of these 50 detailed facts, how many did you actually know? Let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed this research, smash that like button, share it with your nakama, and don't forget to subscribe.